Welcome, everyone, to Banana Bebop. The slower I say it, the more articulate it comes, and I don't mess up,
You
which
sound
is
the exact same. You sounded the exact same, except for that it sounded like you were speaking to somebody who doesn't understand English. That was it.
Welcome to Banana Cowboy.
Nice.
And today we are going to talk about um some of our favorite underrated anime and what underrated anime means to us because I feel like everybody kind of interprets it differently. Um yeah.
Yeah, solid. We underrated anime is always a question that people have because
Yeah, for sure. I get asked that a lot.
yeah, sick Frida cup by the way. Haven't seen that one.
Right?
That's pretty
My best
fire.
friend Courtney got this for me as a housewarming gift when we bought our house, and it's fucking sick. It's also like really big,
This is
and then
my cup today.
also look, it had this on the inside.
Oh, I like the rainbow. That's pretty cool.
I'm shocked that's your cup. But anyway, yeah, I
I
love
figured you
Frida.
would, but yeah, yeah, that's cool. Um, all right, cool. Well, let's start this off. So with this, we we both picked two that we have both seen in our discussion, and then we both picked one each that the other person has not seen. So that'd be pretty cool. Maybe we'll actually watch them. I mean, I probably will. I don't know if Mal will, because
It depends on what it's about and how I'm feeling.
yeah, valid, valid,
Basically, it
valid.
depends on how sad it is and if I'm willing to go down that road right now.
Yeah, the one I picked's not like it's not like super sad. So
Meanwhile, I was just watching one of the ones that we picked and fucking bawling my eyes out downstairs before my shower.
nice,
And you can't,
nice.
I mean, we'll get to it, but you
Yeah.
can't. That show, bro.
All right, so let's start. Let's start with one. What? Which one do you want to start with? Because we picked four, so pick one of the two that you had suggested, and we'll start with that.
Oh, that I suggested?
Yeah,
Um, I'm between
just throw one out there.
for the story or for the art, because that's the difference for me
Just
in the
throw
ones
one
I'm
out
trying to
there.
choose.
Whatever,
Well, pick.
whatever. Let's go art.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go Dora Hedoro.
Really, Dora just for the art, not for the story.
Well, for the story also, but my other choice was solely for like how good the story is. So that's what
Okay.
was my final decision. Yeah, so I'm gonna go Dora Hedoro, which I mean, I it's underrated because I don't know. I mean, like a lot of people don't know about it. It's also a fairly strange genre, so it's not necessarily brought to light to like mainstream shonen
Mm-hmm.
enjoying anime watchers or shoujo enjoying or slice of life enjoying. Like it's for the people. It's for us.
So how do you define underrated then? Because I mean, you kind of alluded to it, but just to like
So that's like I think about this a lot because people always in my life are like, "What's your favorite underrated anime?" And I'm like, define underrated. So to me, it can vary. Like, I think Dorohedoro is underrated because like it hasn't reached enough people that I think it are even in that would like it. In general, and it's just phenomenal. But at the same time, like I would also say maybe it's not underrated because if it were more seen by more people, like I don't think everyone's gonna love it. It's not one of those where like um
yeah. But I mean, you kind of have to like that's everything, right? I mean, even
yeah,
your not underrated anime, even just your popular stuff. I mean, people will hate on stuff just because it's popular. You know what I mean?
true.
But so it's
Yeah.
like saying something is I agree with you. I think underrated is, you know, you you don't know many people that have seen it, and you personally think that it's really really good. Obviously,
Right.
that's going to vary to every viewer because it's all opinion based anyway. Aside from haven't heard many people that have seen it really. You know what I mean? And so I
Yeah.
would agree with you that Dorothy Doro is one because it is really good. You know what I mean? And yeah, most people haven't seen it, and I think most people haven't seen it for the reason that you listed it out as why people haven't seen it because it's not made for like mainstream. Like there is like weird stuff in it, and so if the people aren't into
Right.
that
It's
kind of
also
thing, are
only
not
on
open
Netflix.
to it,
I just realized. I think.
yeah, it's only on Netflix. But I mean, like to me, that's not anything because I would say that something being on Crunchyroll is probably almost harder for people than Netflix because there's more people that have Netflix. I mean,
Right.
I don't know that for a fact, but I know that I can go through 50 people and be like, "Do you have Netflix or do you have Crunchyroll?" Yeah, everybody is going to say Netflix. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And Crunchyroll maybe half. So, just based
True.
on what I know of people, like whenever I suggest a new anime or like if somebody is interested in watching something, I always say, "Well, it's on Netflix." Because
Yeah.
then, I know that they have
It's
access to it.
easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Um, but yeah, so I would agree, and Dorothy Doro definitely would be one of those. I'm surprised you went art style, but just because to me, I don't know. I mean, the art is cool, but like I would think more like character design, that kind of stuff, even seems
Well, that's kind of what I'm like considering in
okay.
the art, like the character design, the animation I love. Some people don't like it.
It just looks normal. I don't really understand.
The manga is art too. It's just like
Yeah, which I haven't seen any of that, so I got nothing on there.
phenomenal, a little bit darker, which is hard to imagine. But like the way they create there's two different worlds. I mean, that's not a spoiler really.
No, yeah,
Like,
I know.
and the way they create the differences is in them using different types of like shapes and color is just like insane for me.
That's pretty
Um,
cool. Then
yeah,
I mean, they kind of did that in the series, but not as much, just because they could show the transition easier.
yeah.
You know,
And
so
there's just so much going on in terms of like things to design too that like
mm,
you know what I mean? Like faces, mask, outfits, like there's just so many different things, like different creatures, different like that like you just it's taking in a lot of different types of art at the same time too,
got you. Yeah,
which
yeah.
I think is why.
Is that what makes it really good for you? Is that like
Um
the like one of the standout things with it that drew you to it? I guess.
no, I mean I think for me what drew me to it is just like I mean for people that know me that are going to listen to this, like everyone knows I love dystopian, post-apocalyptic. That is like my go-to environment, and like this is both. And then also you add fantasy, and then you kind of add like gang ish a little bit. I mean, not actually, but like
No, yeah. I
violence,
mean,
like
yeah,
street violence, like,
yeah.
and then you also add aspects of like fucking like demons and
Right.
like so like it just has so many intricate developments that like I really like. And then like also the main plot of the story kind of just gets like derailed too, which
Mm,
but in a good way.
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like you think this is going to be the entire plot of the story, like this is the mission, this is the thing, and then they're like actually no, you're going to learn about all these different fucking things that are happening, why they're happening, how they're happening, like
Right.
so yeah. I think yeah, the like you said earlier that I didn't pick it for story, but like the story is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. I
For
mean, I
sure.
would pick it based off of story. I mean, everything else was cool. Like the fantasy aspect of it was really cool, but the story I thought was really good, and like the derailment, like exactly like you said. Like you think the story is like, oh, here's why you're watching this, and then it's like, nah, not really. Like you're really watching
Yeah.
it for this, and that doesn't really happen that often.
Mm-mm.
So I thought that was really really cool. Um, now the
I could talk about Dorohedoro literally all day. So like we're gonna have to push ourselves to go to the
what?
next
No, it's fine. I'll steer us. Don't worry. That being said, because we know you like it a lot, what do you not like about it?
one. That season two's not out yet.
Correct, but hey, at least they
There's not
announced it now.
there's not much I don't like about it. Um, to be honest, and that's what makes it 10 out of 10 for me. It is a 10 out of 10 for me. It is in my very, very top highest list of whatever list you want it to be in. If there's anything, I don't, I would say like, I would say sometimes things are hard to follow and you have to kind of like either go back or
Hmm.
think twice because it is very much, I mean, hidden in chaos. Like that's like their tag. Like,
I would agree with that completely.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's so much you might miss. And then also because at the same time there's so much shit going on that means absolutely nothing. And it's
Right.
just like goofy ass shit. But you kind of have to just like, yeah, it's you have to go back
Yeah.
like if you want to like enjoy it and make sure you didn't miss
Right.
anything.
Right. Very vividly remember like watching a few episodes twice because I was just like, wait, what the hell just happened? Like,
Right.
or I would go to the next episode and be like, where? Why are we here? Like, I don't
Right. It's like
understand.
I
And
thought
it's
we were
because
here.
right, exactly,
Also, who is this? Is
right,
this the same
yeah,
like
exactly. So I mean, I vividly remember going like, what? And then like once you go back and you see the little like you said like little part that leads into that, you're like, oh, okay, I get like, all right, cool. Like that
which
makes
is
sense.
why I love the tagline so much because I like to interpret it because they're always like, and what happens next is hidden in the chaos. And like, I have that tattoo. I love it
Yeah.
so much. And I think it's just the perfect, I mean, who knows if this is what they mean, but like, Lou of like this dystopian and post-apocalyptic world is chaotic. We're showing it on how chaotic it is. And like what we're trying, the story we're trying to tell is literally hidden inside of this.
Right.
Like you have to like follow along. So
But I mean, I
I
think that's cool because I also think that that's very like I know it's dystopian and fantasy, but that's very real world. Like most people's story is hidden in a ridiculous amount of crap. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so I think it's really cool. Um, would you say it's a good starter?
no,
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I agree with that
absolutely
completely.
not.
Yeah, no, not even
It
kind of.
maybe the only one I would say is like if someone's super into sci-fi but like really against anime and
Right.
like maybe then
Right.
like
If somebody
but
wants something
otherwise
like chaotic, like you know that they just like that kind of thing, then
mhm.
I would agree with you. That would be a good one. But I think I've maybe suggested it to like one person that I knew that I just knew was
I
into like.
suggest it to people that I know would be able to
Oh no,
like
I meant as a starter. I suggest it to people all the time, but
oh
as a
okay
starter, no. Like if I know that somebody's watching
yeah
it and they're like, "Oh, what should I watch?" That's like cool. I'm like, "Yeah, that," because most people haven't seen it. So there you
hmm
go. And then, well, I guess we already said that one. Where you watch it? You watch it, Netflix. Done. We did that. Shout out Netflix. Sponsor us.
mm.
Let's go.
Oh yeah sponsor.
Yeah. Don't what? Fucking
I don't know it's hard to keep track
oh,
of like who we support and
Jesus.
don't support anymore so
Jesus.
I just like go to like not supporting anyone I'm like
You already did that before. Don't act like that's new. All right. So next one then. Next one.
to
I'll do it. This one,
yeah
and
because I
then
don't know what you're gonna I don't
yeah,
want to pick the first two
you can
without you
ask me questions. No, that's fine because I mean we already talked. You're doing Dory Doro, and then we'll do 91 Days since we've both seen it, and it's one that I wreck all the time, literally all the time, and a lot of that is
yeah
because of Banana Fish. So because
oh yeah I
people
mean
ask like something that's very similar to Banana Fish, which it's very much not,
it
but it
which is so
is. But it is. You know
it
what I
is and
mean?
not at the same time yeah because I
Top level it is. All the underneath is not. You know what I mean?
right
Like all of
Yeah.
that. Like
I totally agree.
if you want like a time period like banana fish that doesn't have any of the really deep stuff, then 91 Days is
Yeah.
a good one. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it's
So does that,
underrated for the same reason
that's what I was
that
gonna ask.
Dorohedoro is. Well, and not, I guess not the exact same reason because Dorohedoro had the whole like dystopian like crazy fantasy and all that. Um, I think 91 Days isn't one because it's a short anime, right? Like it's
Yeah.
very short. It's 12 episodes or 13 episodes, something like that. And it's a time period one, which a lot of people don't like, right? So like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't like time period, and I don't remember them. I mean, I've watched it multiple times, but I don't remember them saying like when it is. It's not in a place that is real, but it is like set kind
Based
of in the
off of,
like prohibition times essentially.
yeah.
Peaky Blinders
Uh,
vibes, like big time. Um, Time
yeah. I
period
couldn't think of
wise.
like an actual time period except like maybe late 1800s, no, early 1900s.
Yeah, early 90s. I would say like Depression era,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It's
Prohibition
based on
times,
like the
all that.
weapons and like the
Right.
the
The
scenery and stuff.
cars. The cars is a big tell a lot of
Yeah.
times too. Um, but yeah,
Boardwalk
so
Empire vibes.
yeah, yeah, kind of. I mean, it's really hard because I feel like all of those
I just put
ones,
two together because Prohibition. I was like,
right?
Boardwalk Empire.
But like all of those ones are kind of like that time ish,
Yeah.
you know. So that kind of thing. Um,
So is that has to do with why you think or why you would consider it underrated because of
Time period. I mean, not a lot
time.
of people have seen it. I mean, that's. I mean, I recommend it a lot, and
Mhm.
I mean, very rarely is somebody like, "Oh, I've seen that." Um, like I have a shirt of it that's just like the two main characters, and it's just sitting here. It says 91 Days. I've never had anyone recognize it.
Yeah.
So
I I always suggest it to people like I don't know. I'm like if you like gang type like more realistic anime, let's put it that
mm-hmm.
way.
Yeah,
Like um you can't miss this one. If so, because since I'm so obsessed with Black Lagoon, if anyone's like asking me for something similar, I'll point them to 91
right.
Days as
I would
one of
agree
the
with that.
options.
Yeah, I would agree with
So,
that
yeah.
completely. Yeah, because it is. I mean, it is like gangy, but it's time period set, so um, that makes it a little bit different. And like I said, some people can't really get behind it because of that. But I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just I think too. It came out before anime got really big. There hasn't been much else about it. Like it's done, so there's no
Yeah.
anything else for it. I know they put out some like special episodes for it, but they were just kind of meh.
Another
So
thing I just realized too, and also about Dorohedoro is like there's like no, well, no, there's comedic relief in Dorohedoro, but like it's a serious anime. Like
yeah,
it's not like you know,
yeah.
it's a well, I guess they're pretty young at first, but like it's a
It's
sign in.
it's
Yeah.
still. I mean, they're both still more serious and more adult for
Than
sure. Right.
than like any of your
Right.
shonen or yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like people are
So
getting killed and all sorts of stuff,
right, like, and that may be a reason that
Dora
you know.
Doro's even crazier because they're getting like flayed and crap. So,
Love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I should have worn my Doro shirt. Two of them. I have two of them now.
yeah, yeah. That's dope.
So I got one from you.
Ew, gross.
Um, is this a good starter anime?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, just because
I would say
it brings
yeah
them
for the right person.
slowly. I mean, all of them are for a right person. I feel like any starter anime is like gonna very much be based on the person, like if you know the person or not. But
Yeah.
I personally, I never suggest anything long to a to somebody who's
Yeah.
just starting. So like a lot of people are like, "Oh, start with Full Metal Alchemist." Absolutely not. It's 50 or 60 something episodes. No,
I
I
always
won't.
suggest it.
I
But
won't suggest it because of that. Because that's an undertaking for most people. You know what I mean?
it
Like
is,
most people are
yeah.
not gonna do that. They're used to watching some series that maybe has 10 episodes for a season kind of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they're not really used to that, and this is something where you can literally finish it in like a day. And so
Yeah.
that's what I try to throw out most of them because they're not going to finish it in a day most of the time. But if they split it up between 3 days, they can be done really easy without putting like a lot of time into it. Um,
Right.
and so 91 days is one I would suggest to people all the time. Erased those kind of things. Like usually ones that are more realistic, just because people tend to
Adult, like people that
right
are more mature.
right.
Yeah,
Then they
you
can make
know.
that transition a little bit easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So um, since you fell at asking questions, I'll ask them myself. Loser.
No, I was gonna ask, I
What's
was
that?
looking at what year it came out. 2016.
16. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, is there anything that you don't like about it?
Mm, I know that a lot of people don't care for the ending, but I'm actually okay with it. Um, I kind of. It's funny because I tout it as, oh yeah, it's short, but I kind of wish it was longer. Just because I think they could have made it longer, and it still would have held my attention. You know what I mean? Like it could have been 24 easy. I don't think you could have gone
Yeah,
I
I
don't think
think
you
it
could
could
have
have
gone
been two.
seasons, but 24. I definitely think you could do. And then yeah, it's on Crunchyroll. So
Now, officially. So now people should watch it more because it wasn't
yeah,
on Crunchyroll
yeah, it
for a
wasn't
while.
on Crunchyroll for a while, and then I don't know if it got on. No, it was before Funimation took over Crunchyroll that it got on there. So I'm not really sure when it got on there, but I do know it's on there now. I had to watch it on some like bootleg site, so good
I
times.
think I watched it on, it was either like Prime or some one of those like something weird that like it was randomly on and I was like, oh, you
Oh,
know.
nice.
I would say
Yeah.
if, for me, like there were some parts that lulled a little bit for
Hmm.
me, but I also watched it like I feel like directly after I watched something else that was like really like hit me
Intense.
so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't remember what it was, but like so I feel like that's really the only reason.
Yeah, and it's not like super intense. Like it has intense parts, but it's not super intense. And so like you can more casually watch 91 Days than a lot of other stuff,
Yeah,
which is another reason why like yeah, I would suggest it
it's a good
to a
starter.
starter because you can casually watch it. Um
Yeah,
and that's probably just
I
because of the
think.
realism, right? Like
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly.
cool. All right, so that's two. We got Doro and 91 Days. What's next?
I think I gotta go. I gotta go with what I was just watching because it is one of my top anime as well. Well, it's a donghua, which is Chinese anime. So we gotta go with Link Click.
Link Click.
Link.
I will never stop preaching the Link Click because it
It
is ridiculously good.
and you know what? I fell upon Link Click like accidentally. How
Yeah.
fucked up is that?
No, I did too.
And I
I
was
was like,
just
what is
like,
this? Oh, let's check this out. And yeah.
yeah,
Or does
it's
it,
phenomenal.
it's a very interesting premise completely. And
It's
then,
some of the most like intricate premise and story that
right,
adapts and changes over time that like I've ever seen.
right, right. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's very much just to throw it out there without messing it. It's very much like Butterfly Effect if you've ever seen that movie. So it's very
Mm,
much like got that kind of vibe to it, and even like similarly story
absolutely.
wise. But What?
I said Ashton Kutcher, maybe.
Yeah. Um, but it's done really well and like slaps you around a lot.
Yeah. I was just crying earlier because of it.
So did you start it over, or are you still
I started season 2 over,
okay?
but I also didn't watch like the last, I want to say 4 episodes. I'm not sure how many. But
Gotcha.
I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start it over because it's been since it released, which was like what, fall or something. So I was like, I'll just start it over.
Season two, yeah, yeah. Season two is
Yeah,
pretty recent, and they already announced season three, which is pretty cool.
yeah. I
But
love it. I love the animation. I love
mm-hmm.
the intro. I love all the music they use. I love the style of like they use, in my opinion, they use like a very, very bland color base. Um,
Yeah, it looks washed out, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
but I think they do that on purpose because of the
yeah.
photos and stuff like that. So.
Exactly. And like it took me a little bit to notice stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
also another one that like the intro is a banger, and the intro is also really good, but also has zero to do with the anime like at all.
yeah.
Like they're doing like
Well, the second one does.
the second
But
one. The
the
second one is a lot more. It's a lot different.
which
But
is
don't.
also a banger. So
Yeah, but the first one is like literally just like them just like breaking it down, right? They're
yeah.
just breaking it
And
down, and you're like, "Whoa, this is cool!" And then it's
this is gonna be a
completely
really cool
not what the anime
like
is like at
two
all.
episodes in, you're just like fucking stop
Yeah,
it.
right, exactly. It's like, oh my god, basketball. Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just it is very. That's a super solid one that it is gaining popularity, but it's still like not many. It's also short, so
Yeah.
like that's another one
Um
that's
there's only
short.
2 12 episode seasons out right
Right,
now.
right.
I think a huge reason that is underrated is because it's in Chinese. Now that the
Yeah,
subtitles or the dub comes out later, it's getting more popularity. I watch it in sub still. Chinese is a very, very different language to listen to than
right.
Japanese. So
You do
like
have to like shift your brain, like
yeah, yeah,
prepare
yeah.
for it. Really.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think that has a lot to do with it originally, but
I
I'm
agree.
hoping that
Yeah.
it gains more popularity because it is just so underrated and like how good it is.
Well, and
Like,
also, I've noticed people tend to not like the whole like Donwell art style,
yeah.
which I think is interesting because I don't really. I mean, it's just different. Like I don't really see anything wrong with it,
And I
you
don't
know.
even like
But
it's not even that different to me
no,
from
it's
like
really
some other
not. Yeah,
animes.
yeah.
Like,
There's other anime that look like, oh, is this a Donwa? Like, but it's not.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, so I don't really understand, but I have heard like multiple people say that, and so it throws
And
me
I
off a
yeah,
bit.
I really like it. I'm like opposite where I'm like, I think this art style is really cool.
I think it's cool too because it's different, right? So
Mhm.
and both you and I like different art styles. So because
Yeah.
it always brings more to the story, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I've always been so like in how to say it without sounding douchey into art. Like I've always been,
God, that
you know,
sounded so douchey.
you know
literal
what it,
literal art all over my wall.
you know what it
God, you
actually
sound like
sounded
such a
like?
douche.
I fifth grade reading level.
Yeah, it did. I like art good.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
instead of like,
Do you like art
but I've
good?
always,
I like art good.
but a lot of it goes with it because like since I was a kid, I mean, like my mom was super into surrealism and Dadaism, so like I was going to like the surrealism and like the Dali Museum when I was like 8 years old. So like, I mean, I got this huge Dali piece on my thigh done, a tattoo when I was 21, maybe. Like, so I've always been into like weird art, first of all, which like can lend itself to Dorohedoro a little bit, and almost anything violent because like of how
Yeah,
serious
yeah,
like
yeah.
it is. But then, I've always been into other art too, like especially like, well, that's also Dadaism, but like a lot of like angles and like symmetry and things like that, like I think kind of lean into characters a lot. Um,
You also
which
married an artist.
yeah, I also married an artist, and my stepfather is an artist, and my mom was an artist.
So
So,
yeah, there you go.
and I'm not. There we go.
And I'm just not. I'm just not one. I just let people draw on myself permanently.
I kind
Um,
of. I made this thing, but you can't see it good from here.
no,
It
you
looks
can't
good in
see what it
person.
is. It looks good even in pictures, but on this screen,
It looks so bad.
it's a blob.
It's also like broken because it fell off the wall like 7 times.
Yeah, but can you really break art?
No, because it's already broken.
No. Yeah. See, there you go. What do you not like about Lean Click?
Mm, I think slow, good concept, slow first couple episodes. Um, I think that may also go back into hand of like what keeps you like maybe some people drop it
Mm-hmm.
because of that. Because like once it gets intense, it is you can't turn back. But
Right.
I do think that like at first, and they have to like kind of ease you into it. I
Mm.
mean, it's a crazy concept to understand.
Well,
So,
it
but yeah,
goes like it's like slow burn, right? And then it goes like that. I mean, like there's no. To me, it's very much reminiscent of what Vinland Saga did. Same thing. It's like it
yeah,
slow burns until it just goes. Oh, we're gonna be up here now. Like,
yeah,
and it's kind of the same thing. So I get like, because I mean, I think you don't. It doesn't really start getting like. It's very just like surface, and then it starts to get deep, and then it just goes way up here. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Because there's like, I'm just thinking of like the different episodes, and like it gets.
I would.
It's
I'm trying.
kind.
Yeah, I'm trying to
It's
see
like
like
kind
maybe
of. You know what I mean?
almost like
Like
episode 8 maybe is when like it
no, it's.
starts.
I think it's a little bit before because there's the basketball episode, and that's kind of a big shift, and then
Yeah.
like and I think that's 6. I mean,
Oh, is it? I thought it was
it's been
earlier.
a while since I watched it. It may have been 4, maybe 6. I don't know. But that one kind of shifts the mood, the tone, right? It's like the tone of the anime shifts there, and you're like, oh wait a minute, like what? And then
Yeah.
it continues to shift, and it snowballs, right? I mean, it just
Yeah.
rapidly starts shifting really quick, and you're just like, oh my god. Um, but I agree with you that that was going to be uh, my dislike of it too. Is that I think they didn't need to take as much time ramping up as they did. But then again, had
It
they
makes the
not
story
done
really
that,
beautiful. Yeah.
right? Had they not done that, would we like it as much? I don't know.
Also, there's so I mean, we're dealing with things in the first episode currently. So like
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
anyway, 10 out of
It's
10.
anyway. Yeah, no, it's super good, super good, super good.
And
Wait,
it's
do you
on
think it's a
Netflix.
good
Or no,
starter? No, it's on Crunchyroll,
Crunchyroll.
yeah, and it wasn't on
I
Crunchyroll, so
I actually do I would say it's a good starter. The only thing that's keeping me is that I just know like I feel like I don't know. Some people there's I don't know.
use your words.
Never mind. I can't.
I think it's a good starter. I don't see anything wrong with it. If you can, if you can look at the concept and compare it to something that people are familiar with, like when I said like the whole butterfly effect thing, if you can
Yeah.
do that with an anime, then I think that it's a good starter, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can compare it to stuff, because there are like Dorhidoro is very hard to compare to like anything else, right? It's its own thing. Okay, so that's and we said
Not a
that's
good
not a good
starter.
starter. 91
Yeah.
days, I mean, we were sitting there
You
like
can compare
listing
it to a
things
lot of
off.
things.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and the same to me with Link Click, I can compare it to, I mean, there's several like similar concept things
The only
out.
thing that would keep
So
me is the complexity of it.
I could see
Um,
that. I mean,
like if you're not ready to really rack your brain and try to figure
right,
something out, like yeah.
right.
But that otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could definitely see that as being a thing because it is another one, a good one that you have to like pay attention to. You can't.
Yeah,
You
for
can't.
sure.
But
Like
I
you
think that's pretty
cannot.
interesting of the ones that we pick there because look at Dora Doro and we're like, yeah, you have to pay attention and it's intense. 91 days, kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of in between, but it's
Yeah,
not like it's not gonna rack your brain any. Um,
right.
and then this one is kind of a mix. So I think that's pretty interesting
Yeah.
that we picked those
I'm
three
really
just
interested to see
randomly.
what you pick as a fourth.
Oh, as mine.
I'm really
Well,
nervous.
our fourth one, we'll just go to it. We already said where to watch it. So, our fourth one that we picked was Dororo.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we picked. I thought
Yeah.
you were picking on the fly.
No, no, no. That's not what I. That's like what we decided on for. Remember? Um,
Nope.
okay. Good job. I mean, that text was like a whole hour ago, so um, valid.
I'm
But
literally.
we both really
Oh,
like Dororo a lot.
oh! I did the wrong one
Oh,
then.
that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, but the other one's so good that
Uh,
we're not doing.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good ones. We'll probably do a part two to this just
Okay, okay, okay,
because.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
All
I know, fucking
right,
rabbit hole.
Dororo.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Dororo. It's one. I have to say, like, I think one of the biggest reasons it's underrated is because it's on Amazon. Most of the stuff that's on Amazon does not get seen very often. They also don't have dubs, so a lot of people won't watch it because there's no dub. That's the same with Banana Fish, right? Like it's on Amazon and there's no dub. Um,
Oh yeah, I didn't know that there's no dub though. I mean,
I don't believe so. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I haven't found anything that isn't already a dub somewhere else as a dub
right.
that Amazon has. Because like what is that Inuashiki or whatever it is? Like
Yeah.
it's super good too. Doesn't have a dub as far as I know.
Super good.
Also
Super
crazy
good.
as crap, but
Fucking nuts.
absolutely nuts.
I think it's Inuyashiki.
Yeah,
Inuyashiki.
something like that. Yeah,
Because the only reason I can ever remember its name is because
because
I'm
of
like
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha.
Yeah, exactly.
Me.
Yeah, that's the only reason I can too. But I digress. Also, a super good one if you want to check it out. It is pretty wild
Yeah.
though.
We'll
Um,
stop suggesting other underrated animes for now. Maybe we will do. I have to do a part
yeah.
two.
Oh, I think we could do a part two pretty easy. But Dororo, not only is it just one a fire story, two the opening, which is called Fire, is
Guarantee you people know the opening and do
yep,
not know what show it's from.
it's my favorite opening. Right, I'm a big Unravel fan. By the way, Tokyo Ghoul Unravel opening is so good, but it's also, you know, I've heard that for years. I will jam the Fire
I
open,
mean,
the
the
Dororo
Vinland Saga
opening.
opening is also fire.
Yeah, oh
Like,
yeah, both are. Yeah, there's two of them that are really good. But the Dororo opening is, it's like,
super
yeah,
good.
for me it is. It's my favorite for sure. It has
No,
been on my
I love
Spotify
it.
wrapped like every year since it came out. So,
Which reminds me that I want to do a show on this. I suggested it of anime openings that we never skip
yeah, that would be
because
one.
that would be one.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You said another one
By
too,
the
the Vinland
way,
Saga one. So,
this was what I was comparing if I wanted to choose art or story because I was gonna go with
this was story.
Dororo. Yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, so, and I agree with you because the story is crazy. It is like feudal Japan. So that's, that can put some people off. But it is crazy good story. Like, really good character development, I feel like. Um,
Hell yeah. Yeah.
animation's super good. Uh, the MC never talks, and you love them.
Them.
So, I mean, like that says it all to me. Like it just
Yeah. It's
super
it's
good.
incredible and like it is and this is another thing like it is absolutely a sign in like which is like now I'm realizing is it seinen or sign in? Sign in?
Seinen.
Are you sure?
EI. If you're saying it in English, so it's like, I don't know how to pronounce it in Japanese, but
seinen, whatever. Which is just funny because I just realized everything we picked is.
I don't know. I never look at categories because I think it's all crap.
I'm not looking at the categories. I'm just choosing in my mind if
No,
it
I
is or
know, but
not.
I mean, like,
I
even like I when I went to film school and they would put these movies in these different categories, and I was like, I'm never doing that because
yeah,
there's almost nothing that is solely whatever.
one category.
Yeah, so I'm like, why do that? Why label it like that? Like, I also just don't like labels, but why label it like that? Because I'm just like, no, it's just good. You know what
But
I
yeah,
mean?
I mean, falling into like the last couple that we also, well, I mean, it kind of could go along in the same bucket of Dorohedoro when it comes to like this is a gruesome
Right, very
anime.
gruesome, and kind of outlandish for what that what's going on because it is like fantasy esque as well. It's very like what you think of if you think of like feudal Japan and like kind of what a lot of the history or like a lot of feudal Japan shows come out. They'll have like magic in them and sorcery and
Yeah,
different stuff like that, and this has that as well as like
but
spirits
very
and all that.
limited.
It is very
Like,
limited, yeah.
and they do a really great job of like, I feel like
It's more believable.
making it, yes, making it all like seamless and going together.
Right.
Like,
It's very much more believable because it isn't like outlandish. You know what I mean? But it's just
right,
like yeah, yeah.
exactly.
It's almost like matter of fact. Well, yeah, this is
Yeah,
what happened, and then they just kind of keep going. Like it doesn't go into
it is
these like
also,
crazy,
very trauma like
very trauma.
warning or
Yeah,
trigger warning.
trigger
Like, you're,
warning, drama warning, gore
yeah,
warning,
like
awesome warning. Um,
that was,
yeah, so good.
yeah,
All right, so that's okay. Well, then, I mean,
that's a crier.
yeah, definitely a crier.
So far on my list, there's only two criers so far for me, and that would be Link Click and Dororo.
Yeah. Uh, 91 days a couple times gets you emotional. I don't know. I don't know if I cried during. I'm trying to remember, like when I first watched it. I don't think I did. Um, maybe like a little bit, but nothing like Dororo or Link Click. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
So,
No.
um, what do you not like about Dororo?
Uh, maybe the end, but only in the sense that like I wanted to see more.
Yeah, the fact that it ended, not necessarily
Yeah, like
the
I wanted
end.
to see
It's
what
the
happened
fact that
after
yeah,
this
right. So
journey.
there
Like,
is no more of it. There's no second
yeah.
season coming out. Like it's done. 24 episodes. It's done. Which I'm a huge fan of anime's ending. I'm just because closure, I
That's the one.
guess. I don't know. That's really it. No, I'm really like. I'll
Oh,
be
I'm
ex-
a huge fan too, except for One Piece because I know that like it'll really like
I'll be excited
I might.
to. I'll be excited for it to wrap up and to see what Oda does. That's the main reason that I'm excited about One Piece ending.
Yeah.
Is just those things. Like I want to see how it wraps up, like what ends up happening. I really hope he does one of those like 5 years later type thing or something like that. You know what I mean? Like where you get to see like
I'm
what's going on
selfish.
with
I would
everybody.
like to continue forever.
I just think it'll lose its luster if it continues forever.
Yeah, maybe, but
I mean, maybe not. Oda's a gangster, but then also like if something happens to him, like we're screwed.
well,
But
maybe
anyway,
with his wife. That
yeah, maybe
that's
I don't know
I've heard that the only person that knows how it's like
the
gonna end
story.
is his wife.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense.
Like,
Um, is Dororo a good starter?
I want to say yes,
No,
but
no,
no, it's not.
no. The only
You're gonna
reason,
be so traumatized.
no, actually, so I want to say yes to it too because I don't think it's as of the ones that we've said no. I don't think it fits in with those in that way. You know what I mean? I think like because you know that it's like kind of dark fantasy, like that it's that people are gonna kind of know what to expect there. You know what I mean?
but but at
But
the same time, I
but it's
think
a
it's
lot.
like
It's a lot.
yeah, like
And
it's labeled dark fantasy, but then you're like, whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah, yeah,
whoa.
yeah. They didn't say dark plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's just dark fantasy. But also like I think I think too that it's where it shows its kind of like weirdness or whatever, like the fantasiness. I think people could be like really turned off really quick by it. You know what I mean? Like, what? No, like I'm not trying to go down this road. Now, I think
yeah,
if you've watched any other anime, you could go directly to that one and be totally fine, right?
right, yeah,
Completely. But as just a straight up, I've never really watched anything. I want to start with
yeah.
something.
No,
I
do
would
not want
not do that. Yeah, just
no,
because it
no.
is. I mean, it is hardcore too. So going into watching Doro thinking like most anime is like this is not correct, right?
Yeah,
Like not
no,
at all.
not at all.
So, um, so yeah, but super good. And yeah, we already said that it was on Amazon, so that's cool. Yeah, and that's it. So now let's go to the ones that we picked that the other person has not seen.
Oh, right. Yeah. So now what I pick, Adam hasn't seen. What Adam picked, I have not seen. So who
Correct.
wants to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So I'm gonna pick Gangsta,
Okay.
which um I think is super underrated. And this kind of falls into the same category as 91 Days, in the sense of like I find my if you liked Black Lagoon, watch Gangsta. If you liked, you know, it is it is very cool. Like, it's hard to explain like the plot necessarily.
Without ruining it, or
No, not without ruining it, but like it's just one of the main characters also like doesn't really speak at all. He's deaf, which is a
oh,
very
okay.
cool
Yeah,
concept.
that is cool.
Um, and basically, the cities are run down. I wouldn't say it's like
It's not dystopian,
apocalyptic.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
but like, and basically, certain gangs run the city, but they're not really gangs, they're like classes, which
Hmm.
has been based off of, you know, it's very intricate, but like they all wear like these tags and they're like labeled by letters and stuff, and like
What is
it's really
it?
cool.
Is it older or newer? I know that I've
It's
looked it up a few times.
2015.
No, I meant
2015.
like a time period that they're like set in.
Newer-ish.
Okay.
Like I would say, what is Black Lagoon supposed to be? Like I don't remember. I would say like
I think
2000s or early 2000s,
okay.
maybe late 90s. It's based off of.
Right, so pretty normal then. There's not gonna be
Yeah,
they'll have
yeah.
flip
So
phones,
it's
but that's about it.
relatable, right? Like computers that have, they pick up phone. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's really good. There's a lot of depth in the plot. But at the same time, it's not as quite as dark as like, well, no, I'd put it like I'd pitch it in the same field as Black Lagoon, but adding more. Uh, this seems impossible, but like adding more fighting, maybe.
Hmm.
Um,
Is it done?
the anime, yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna get a second season, but there is more in the manga. So that's one of the things that like a lot of people are upset that it didn't get a second season. Um,
Valid.
yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I love it.
What do you think
The
makes it
art is
underrated?
interesting. I think it's underrated because I feel like, well, it's not accessible. It's
Oh,
only on Hulu right now.
okay.
But also I think it's something that like a lot of people would like and just like haven't watched it. The same way kind of with like 91 Days, like
Right.
Black Lagoon being an older anime, like that's like fighting based, get like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
reality based kind of. Like, it's not a real world, but like
But it's more like
streets of New York,
you
like
you could
like
you could understand like what's going on without
non-fantasy.
reaching right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
exactly. So,
What do
um,
you not like about it?
uh, some parts didn't make sense to me. I think looking back, like or like I didn't understand. I'm like, oh, okay.
Did you
Like
read
there's
it too or no?
no,
Okay.
no.
I'm just wondering if it got like jumbled because that happened. I mean,
That happened,
Like
yeah,
Bleach, where they jumble it up, and you're just like, what?
yeah,
What is going on? Um,
exactly.
okay. And
But
you
other
said
than
it's
that,
on
I mean,
Hulu. Yeah, Hulu.
the art style is different. I like it though. I could also see other people not liking it.
So kind of like Link Click, where you could see people not liking it, but
Right.
it's not bad. Okay. All right. I guess I have to
Yeah.
check that out. Then. I mean, I've had multiple people suggest it to me when they found out that I hadn't seen it, but you know.
Well, yeah, especially as someone like if you've watched 91 Days and Banana Fish
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like that would be the third in line to suggest, I think.
Okay.
You know.
Gotcha. All right. All right.
'Cause I do suggest it to people that are like, "Oh, I watched Banana Fish. Like, what else should
Yeah.
I watch?" I'm usually like 91 Days, Gangsta. I mean, I just tell everyone to watch Black Lagoon.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would put that in. I mean, because it's still like gang-ish in a city kind of thing, like very similar. Um.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I guess I have to check it out then. Finally. I guess.
Yeah. So
Sick.
I just read that. I was like, why wasn't it finished? And it's because the studio went bankrupt
Bankrupt. Okay.
during it. So
All right. So it's does it end on a cliffhanger or
no, I don't think so.
it just doesn't
I can't
wrap
remember.
everything up basically like it's not.
It was canceled, but like they wrapped everything up.
Okay. All right. So the ending is abrupt feeling maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Solid. Solid. I'll have to check it out then.
I feel like this just describes like what kind of anime we like.
No, I think mine is gonna throw you a bit.
Okay.
Um, so mine is called Beyond the Boundary, which is like super sci-fi fantasy. Um, like I don't know. It's about like kids, not like high school age kids, like most anime are, but high school age kids that like there's like spirits, I guess, that try to like attack the world, and like these kids are in families who combat that. Um, and then there is people who like fight with blood, like different stuff like that. It is,
Love that.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's very good. Only 11 episodes. It does have two movies with it. Um, but I haven't been able to locate. I mean, like I can find them on sites or whatever, but I haven't been able to find them on anything. It's on High Dive. Um,
Oh, that's it.
yeah. So, but it used to be on Crunchyroll. It was on Crunchyroll for a long time. When I watched it for the first time, it was on Crunchyroll. I think people didn't really lean towards it because it is very like fantasy, um, and it is the image that they use for the um, like for the anime itself on Crunchyroll like didn't really tell you anything at all. So
Don't you hate that?
yeah, but it's kind of a romance kind of thing, but the two people are not all the way. I, it's very interesting. Like their dynamic is very interesting. Um,
Feels
like
like you can't tell me much without spoiling
right,
it.
it's very hard to.
Like,
The thing I could say that I didn't like about it, well, there's two things actually. So one is in the group there's a brother and sister, and the brother has the weird like hot for his sister thing or whatever, or not hot, like I don't know. That's a trope that's in like other stuff too, where like the brother
Yeah,
likes the sister,
that's
and I always think
a
it's
very
weird.
annoying
Right?
trope.
It is, and it's super annoying, and it almost like it definitely doesn't add anything. Right?
Yeah,
It's just there. I think it's supposed to be for comedy,
but
and it is
you're
fun. Like it is funny in sometimes, but then like other times you're like, okay, that's
yeah,
enough or whatever.
right.
I can say like when it does get serious in multiple places, and when it gets serious, that's not a thing. So that's why I say I think they threw it in for comedy. There's also like one weird like dance episode. Yeah, it's very interesting, but it's part of the story, and it like
Yeah,
makes sense. But I was just like, why is this one entire episode like of them like learning this dance and like practicing, and it's almost like their training episode, but for dancing. It's very weird.
dancing.
Yeah, it's super weird. Um,
That's
but
funny.
other than that, it's really really good, and most people that I've talked to have never seen it. I honestly just clicked on it, like that was it.
And
You know what I mean? And I was
yeah,
just like, whoa, this is like dumb good. Wow, okay. Also visually, it's really good. Like there are some stunning images on there, like Your Name, Weathering with You esque big images that are just like, holy crap, that's really freaking cool looking. You know what I mean? Like just that.
yeah,
Um,
that's cool.
yeah, so it's very, and it was like random. You know, like wow, sick. Good,
Why do you think it's
good for you guys.
or consider underrated? Excessive, like
I would say accessibility now, um, but I don't know when it went to high dive. So I watched it a few years ago, um, and it, like I said, it was on Crunchyroll. So, but I would say accessibility, and then just like it is very random. Like I don't hear many people talk about it. You can't explain a lot of it without messing up the story. There's no like mystery involved. It's just like you're just giving away pieces of it. So it's like, what's the
right.
point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Um,
always difficult.
yeah, and it is just kind of like if you read the synopsis of it, you'd be like, I don't know about this, but it was,
Right. You're like, wait a
yeah,
minute.
yeah, you know. So it's like, oh, okay, um, but super good. It was really, it was, and I don't know if sometimes I just think like it's a lot better than what I was going into it, and so I'm like, oh, it's good, but
So
no,
that's yeah.
but I don't think
Have you
so because I've watched it
have you ever-
again.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and it's still good. I still
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So even with that trope that I didn't like, I still enjoyed the anime. And usually stuff like that will kind of put me off, where I'm just like, eh. Like, yeah,
Right.
it was decent, but it's a 4 because, or a 6 or something because it had this in it that was completely pointless. But it's just not overbearing, so it doesn't really,
So it's not as
yeah.
like yeah. That makes sense.
So, yeah, definitely not a good starter. Definitely
No.
not. No, absolutely not. So, especially with the trope in it, like that would just throw people
Yeah.
really good.
People will be like, oh, this is this is what I of course anime is this. Like
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So,
we should definitely do a part two because I thought of some more while I'm sitting here.
yeah, maybe the people we can ask the people. Do the people want a part 2? Let us know.
Let us
Let
know.
us know.
Because we
Off
definitely should talk about Inuyashiki.
and Yoshiki's very good, yeah. Don't give them all
What?
away. Duh, then nobody's going to watch the second show. The worst. The worst.
All right. Whoops.
All right, solid show though. It was a good one. Yeah, but for real, if you guys want to know more, let us know in the discords, plural, or there's a space where you can like write it. Maybe I'll make that the question on there that no one ever answers. So it's whatever.
Yeah.
Sick. All right. Hopefully you all enjoyed. I liked making this one because underrated anime is a fun thing. So
Yeah.
um, yeah. Anyway, have a good day, everyone.
See ya.
Peace.